Islam is probably the most controversial religion of the 21st century. However, that shouldn't come as a surprise because it has been questioned ever since it began, over 1400 years ago. In those days, the questions that were asked were regarding bringing change to a nation and whether a person could give up their lifestyle and family so they could live under the rule of God. There were severe consequences for choosing to be a Muslim in those early days. It would usually lead to being disowned by your family, public torture, or in some circumstances, death. In today's world, those problems don't exist, but there are still issues regarding the religion which are under scrutiny and questions are still being asked. The questions being asked today are very different. They focus on terrorism, women, morality, violence, and more. People find it hard to understand these topics, and many believe that Islam needs to move on and change its ways to accommodate for the times that we all live in. I searched for non-Muslims to see what their views are on these topics and try to understand how they feel about the ideas and rules of Islam. I also spoke to Muslims and listened to them give their opinions on these subjects, hoping to find an explanation and get an idea to why people may not understand Islam. Many people believe that Islam is oppressive towards women because it forces them to cover up, it takes away the rights of women, and they aren't regarded as equal to men. If this is true, then it doesn't make sense as to why, out of 100,000 British people that converted to Islam in the past decade, over 60% of them are females.
Okay, good morning ladies and gents. I'd like to welcome aboard this megabus service to London. Firstly, if I can please ask all passengers if you can have your seatbelts on whilst on board. It is a legal requirement. It is obviously for your own safety, so please do buckle up whilst on board the vehicle. Also, if you can just familiarise yourself with the 5 exits on board, which you will find the entrance where you boarded. There's also one to the rear on the right hand side of the coach, and also certain windows on either side which are clearly marked, and skylights can also be used in emergencies. There is strictly no smoking or the consumption of alcohol whilst on board.
Yeah, I'll come in.
Is it okay if I sit down here?
Yeah, yeah. Do you want a cup of tea?
No, thank you. I've just had one at the office. So, are you managing okay? Is there anything that we can support you with?
Yeah, I'm managing fine, and my daughter's managing fine. It's my mother who isn't. And you've seen what she's like, and I haven't had any help at all. I mean, I think that's why you're here, isn't it?
It is, yes. What I'll need to do is go back and speak to my manager, and then after I've spoke to him, within a few days I'll get back in touch with you and we'll discuss support packages then. Is that okay?
We'll have to be ready.
Well, for the moment, yeah. And hopefully we'll come up with some support that suits you all. But I'll need to go back and discuss it with my manager before I do anything.
Come on then, I'll show you out.
Missing a captain, and it takes someone with real heart to step in. By no means do I think that's me, but someone needs to put their hand in the sea and pull the anchor. Well, Jimmy just said leave it.
The thing that made me start weightlifting was I have two older brothers that weightlift. They're sort of 3 and 4 years older than me. They started going early. They wanted to be bodybuilders, but my dad was basically said, you know, you're too young to become a bodybuilder at the ages of sort of 9 and 10. So, like gymnastics, he had a little bit of a background in Olympic weightlifting, so he said, go and try this. So they went to the only gym that he knew about. They didn't really have proper coaching back then, to be honest. But I went with them and was watching them lift. Obviously, I was too young to stay at home on my own with my dad, and my mum went to drop them off. So I went with them, watched, and.
I'm Chris Ware.
I'm Glenn.
And together we are the Awesome Deep Art. Never actually thought about being a DJ. Never crossed my mind. And it was a trip to Warehouse Projects in Manchester about, I don't even know how long ago it was now, 6 years ago maybe a bit longer. And I was there for Cocoon, and Villa Lobos was playing one of his better sets. And it was that was pretty inspirational for me, and the thought about DJing probably dawned on me watching him play at that time, really.